It's time for Wednesday's weekly reading. Hi there, I'm Julie Turner, and before we get started, wherever you are seeing this video, if you could like it or subscribe to it, share it, whatever you feel moved to do, that would be super awesome. And of course, do it after you listen to it. You might think, hey, somebody else needs to hear this. You can send it individually to them or, again, share it on your feed, wherever you're finding this. So, as I said last week, I'm going to start doing these readings on Wednesdays. And the reason is that we so very often do things on the beginning of the week or on the weekend or whatever the case may be. And I'm not sure why we make those decisions. So I just wanted to do something a little bit different. Before I got started, I was thinking, I really feel like there's change imminent. And that has nothing to do with what's going on in the world outside. I just really feel like some of you out there are in need of a change, or you know there's a change, you'd like there to be a change, whatever the case may be in your life. Whether or not this is you, I'm not sure, but this is who I'm reading this for. So before we got started, I took my tarot deck, and I have a vice versa tarot deck. So there's really no way to not get a read off this. I'll show you one of the cards that I drew. So this is the One of Pentacles, or the Ace of Pentacles. And you can draw it on this side, or you can draw it on this side. Either way, it's still Ace of Pentacles, but the picture is very different. And this picture really, really was interesting to me. And even more so once I turned it over and realized what was on the back. So this is the way that it came out. And this card is about richness, completeness, health, and it's just a very prosperous card. But what's interesting is it was drawn on the side where it looks like a city. It looks like an old-fashioned city, but it looks like a city. But they're outside. And I always say that I'm much like a puppy, that I need to get outside as much as I possibly can. But I gotta tell you, I'm not like an outdoorsy girl. So again, this one really resonated with me because yes, they are outside, but they are in a city. And that may or may not be richness, prosperity, and completeness to you out there. And for other people, they love the country and they love, going fishing and camping and all that kind of stuff. And that's great for them, but that's not the side it was drawn on. So this is all about that completeness and that richness. And maybe for some of you out there, you need to spend a little bit of time out and about in your own city or in the city nearest to you. Get back among people. And yes, I know we should keep our social distance, and that's totally fine. I'm really actually good with having 6 feet of distance between me and the next stranger. No problem with that. Think that should have always happened. Don't really like it when people are kind of in big crowds with me, but that's what this card is: richness, completeness, and health. So try and get back amongst people, maybe, and amongst the city and the energy. I really feel like that vibrancy is going to be important for you if this is resonating with you, if you are someone who's looking for a change. Now, the next card that I drew, and actually I didn't draw them. I was shuffling, they fell out, they jumped out. So these are the two that I'm going to speak to the most, and then we're going to draw some clarifying cards, etc. So the next one, this is the World. I don't know if you can see that well with the shine. And it's the back of the world, and it was drawn upside down. So what that means is the world is about reaching the destination when you get the back of it. This is about reaching your destination, and sometimes we don't even realize we reached it. And as I'm saying that, that's very interesting because we are often looking for something that we already have. We're just not looking at what we have, if that makes sense. So many of us, and I've fallen into this category often, we're like, okay, what's next? What's next? But we're not really fully appreciating where we're at in the first place. And this is, again, this card is about reaching your final destination, and it's about release from all types of imprisonment. So your true freedom, I talk about freedom all the time, but it's upside down, which means that you're challenged with those things. You're challenged with actually seeing that you've reached your final destination. You're challenged with feeling imprisoned even though you're not. There's so many things in the world that we make excuses. How do I want to word this? Like, you know, I can't do that now because this is in my way. And the fact is, maybe it's not in your way. Maybe you need to be exactly where you are right now and appreciate where you are and utilize where you are, and stop looking at what you can't do and where you aren't. Hopefully that makes sense. So, as I said, I really think that there's really big change imminent for the energy that I'm feeling right now. So, speaking of the energy that I'm feeling right now, let's see what energy we're in. So I'm going to draw from the Goddess Guidance cards. So whose energy are we in right now? I like to clear the deck no matter what, even though I'm generally the only person that touches these cards. But this is for anybody out there that is feeling it's time for some big change, or that whether they feel it's time for it, it's coming. Just so you know. For those of you out there this is resonating with and you're thinking this could possibly be about you, it is. All right. What energy are we in right now? What energy are we in right now? Okay. Oh, I really like this one. Again, time for some big change. Whether you want it to be or you just know it is, this is the energy that you need to be in. It says, don't back down, stand up for what you believe is right. There's a lot of things going on in the world right now, and a lot of people picking sides on things and then arguing about their side. And the fact is that we don't need to argue, but we need to stand our ground. We don't need to fight a war that doesn't exist, but we need to allow ourselves to be comfortable in what we believe and be able to diplomatically and kindly move forward with what we believe. And often we worry about what other people are going to think, how other people are going to receive it. I've heard people that are business owners say, well, I can't really say what my true opinion is because I might lose business. And honestly, if you do, you are probably meant to lose that business. We can't live a facade just so that we make that extra almighty dollar. I'm not saying that you shouldn't try and support your clientele and stuff like that, but if it's against what you truly believe, don't back down. This is about you. This is your life. Now, whether this is in relationship, in business, in your family, whatever the case may be, stand up for what you believe in. That is the way we're going to have that change. Interesting. I feel like one of the biggest changes that we're going to have in our world is that we can actually stand together and have different opinions. We can actually stand together and have different opinions. Because at the end of the day, what we want is a healthy, rich life, right? But not everybody has to have the same opinion of what that looks like. And it's none of your business or mine what your neighbor's life looks like. So we need to be able to stand together, but still have our own opinions. Hopefully that makes sense. And if it doesn't, give me a call, because I would love to do a reading for you, whoever you is. And if this one doesn't resonate with you, maybe it's time for you to get your own reading. And again, you can give me a call or go onto my website, Julieturner.ca. If this is on Instagram, if you're watching this on Instagram, I love Linktree. I was introduced to Linktree, and I love that you can have all of the different things, all the different ways to get a hold of you. So, because I have 2 different YouTube channels, I have one for No BS Talk and I have one for me. I have 2 different Instagram, 2 Facebook, websites. Like, I got a list of stuff going on, people. So if you go to my Linktree, you can see all of that all at the same time. All right. What do we need to, we got a card falling out here. We'll just let that drop. What do we need to keep in mind for this big, amazing, wonderful change to happen? And just FYI, sometimes these big, amazing, wonderful things don't always feel wonderful, don't always feel amazing. So we've got a couple cards here that just really wanted to jump out. So we'll speak to them. The first one that hopped out was the Lady of Lightning. Surprises, sometimes shock, and total paradigm shift. Who knew? Lady of Lightning, surprises, sometimes shock, and total paradigm shift. Again, so much about change. So realize that when you're shocked or when things kind of make you step backwards, when they happen, that doesn't mean that it's necessarily the wrong thing. And it doesn't mean that, that you should stay away from it. That's what change is. Sometimes change sets us off a little bit. As long as, I'm always big on reading intuition, as long as your gut isn't saying, that this is, as long as it's not making you sick. Because that's what happens for me, is when something is really wrong for me, I actually get sick. Like, I've been known to sincerely become physically ill because something was wrong for me and I wasn't moving away from it. I was like, I can make it through. Don't try and make it through. However, if it makes you feel nervous, excited, anxious, any of those like, I don't know about this, it might just be because it's a really, really big change. And sometimes it's hard for us to embrace that right off the hop. So that is Lady of Lightning, total paradigm shift. I'm super excited about that. The Horse King is another one that came up. So the Horse King, this one is really relevant as well. So the Horse King, it says assistance and control. It's a number 6, but it's actually the 42, which reduces into a 6. So the 4 is all about your stability, your foundations. The 2 is about the mediator, getting along. Added together, it's about the 6. The 6 is the nurturer, the support, responsibility. And what this card says to me is that not to go it alone. So you can see that it's a horse and rider, but the horse is obviously the more dominant creature, or physically anyways, but the horse is there for the man. And really, we need to find these people in our lives or groups in our lives that are there to help us. And it's okay to get help. It's more than okay to get help. Traditionally, a lot of people have believed that independence is where you need to be. Honestly, I don't actually agree with that. I think we need to find the right people to support us. You need to be autonomous, but not necessarily independent. Autonomous, but not necessarily independent. The last one that I will talk to you about is the Arrow Master. So you can see, and this one there's lots of cards that are like this, and it's like focused intention, but the Arrow Master is hitting the mark, intention, detachment. So what this one says to me is to understand what you're looking for in your life. So that big change, understand what it is that you're looking for, whether you know that you need a change or whether you've always been looking for something. Understand what it is that you want, what you're looking for, but let go of what it's going to look like. So I want to be in a relationship. I want to be in love. But in the past, you've always had this like dream of what that looks like. And people have come through your life and they haven't maybe measured up to that dream. Maybe it's time to realize that the dream is just a visual of what you want to feel. And maybe you need to connect a little bit more with what you want to feel, not what you want to see and what it looks like. So focused intention is go for what it is that you're looking for, but from a standards, not goal point of view. So I want to be in love. I want to feel loved. I want to feel valued. I want to feel respected. Or in your career, maybe I want to feel of value. I want to feel successful, all those things. But let go of what it looks like to you. Concentrate on what it feels like. All right. So anybody that wants more information on these cards or wants a personal read or a hypnotherapy appointment, please give me a call, or my phone number is on my website and pretty much everywhere. That's Julieturner.ca. Thank you so much for your time today, and I'll see you next Wednesday, if not before. All right, stupid thing. I'm just gonna have to press the button.